Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we welcome you to this session of Mumbai's Gyan Sabha. We are meeting for a very special session today. And before we begin, I would begin by saying a small prayer that we meditate on the lovely glory of God Savita, that He may stimulate our minds. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the essence of Gayatri Mantra. That good be spread in all directions and may collective wisdom show us the right way. We have gathered today, uh, a day after the World Day of International Justice, commonly referred as International Justice Day, and it's a day celebrated throughout the world on 17 July as part of an effort to recognize the emerging system of international criminal justice. July 17th is the date of adoption of the treaty that created the International Criminal Court. On 1st June 2010, at the review conference of the Rome Statute held in Kampala, Uganda, the Assembly of State Parties decided to celebrate 17 July as the Day of International Criminal Justice. Citizens play a very important role in justice delivery system, and it's not just courts and those who practice before courts and the entire judicial system that is solely responsible for criminal justice system, but a great degree of responsibility lies on citizens. And to discuss this, we have the absolute pleasure of having with us today Justice Radhakrishnan. His Lordship was a judge of the Bombay High Court. He chaired various committees of the High Court, and even after his retirement, he continued to act on various committees that ensured, for instance, the committee that looked at the condition of prison inmates, uh, and other committees as well. So I welcome you wholeheartedly, Your Lordship, and we would be glad to hear your views on this topic of what could be the role of citizens in justice delivery.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prohit, Vijay Prohit. And I was really pleased to note the topic of this today's discussion, because we always talk of justice only through court. But what you had rightly, as you had rightly formulated, that what is the role of citizens in rendering justice? Because actually, the citizens can render more justice than court. And very often you'll find justice is a very beautiful concept. Unfortunately, the citizens and foolish beliefs, foolish practices, various such things renders the entire thing meaningless. In fact, today most important is correct type of education and correct type of knowledge on various things are very necessary at the citizens level, because even today, even in judiciary, various such sensitive issues are not, they're not very clear in the sense whereby injustice is caused. So I have chosen today about 4 or 5 topics which may be very rather painful or rather odd you may feel, but this is an area where citizens can play really an effective role in rendering justice. See, the first topic I want to discuss is about transgenders. We have so much of prejudice against transgenders. See, you'll be surprised to know, even in a very affluent area like Malabar Hill, if a child is found to be transgender, the family is very keen to dispose of the child, and they call those hermaphrodites. Normally call them hijras. No, so they give it to them. You just look at it, it is a purely a genetic defect. See, a child can be born without an eye, correct? You accept that child. A child can be born without a hand, you accept that child. A child may have various physical deformities, you accept that child. Only because the child has a genetic defect, is not a full male or a full female, what is the fault of that child? What you're doing is virtually you throw them out. And fortunately, only last year the transgender has been recognized as a gender. Otherwise, they could not even vote. They could not take part. What kind of job they can do? They can do wonderful jobs. They can get educated. They can, in fact, they accept the genetic defect. Otherwise, they are normal. Why should see they today's setup is they cannot go to a normal school. They cannot go to an office. They cannot go anywhere. I mean, isn't it very unfortunate? It is all because of our wrong belief. In fact, you go to a country like Thailand, a transgender is accepted. In fact, maximum number of surgery to change that personal design. I want to be a male or I want to be a female. Accordingly, they operate and make that person. They accept it. They don't say that it is wrong to be born with this genetic defect. Why should we fight against this? In fact, today you must have read in Times of India, strangely, that Bombay High Court had to interfere. Somebody from Mysore, a boy who's a transgender, boy or a girl, whatever, then the boy wanted to be a choreographer in Mumbai, comes here. The family is hounding him. How can you go there? You can't go here, go there. So now finally court said, I mean, he's a grown-up person, he is maybe a transgender. He has a full freedom, directed the police to give full protection. See, this is something which society should protect. In fact, if you remember good old days during the Maharaja's time, a transgender played a very. They were not neglected like this. They were all put in the queen's chamber. They used to protect the queen and other people, and they used to be taken care in the palace. But today, what happened? Nothing. Nothing, absolutely no job, and they have to take to begging or other kind of activities. Why should? So what you have to do is see now you're all the youth because the older people it's very difficult to change. I mean, I frankly agree. At least youth, you should spread this news. A transgender is absolutely a normal person and you should accept that person because by not accepting what you're doing is you are actually driving them to commit crimes or do other kind of how will they live now just look at it. I mean they have to come near the car and bag and then take some money, or if a child is born they go to their house and collect some money. That's not making a living. I mean today they must be given formal education, jobs. They can do wonderfully. Why should I mean you all think over it? I mean I think you a transgender is not something which have any fault on their part for being born in that way. Any one of us could have been born as a transgender. Suppose we face that problem, how will it be? So look at it that way and try and educate. Actually, we will tell your colleagues, everyone, that transgender there is nothing wrong with that, except it is a simple genetic defect. Why should they suffer? Then there is another category where you all can really help. Of course, we have been passing law with regard to that from 1993, but still in the same position. It is called manual scavengers. You'll be surprised to know in Mumbai, a very advanced, important city in the world, we have about 10,500 manual scavengers in Mumbai in the peripheral area, Mulund, Borivali. You know, their main job is to clean dry latrine. Why should you have a dry latrine? And why should someone else come and clean your excreta? You clean it, but they have to come and clean. And what do? That they are given hardly any equipment, and they are even treated worse than the Harijans because they are cleaning your excreta. Why should you not clean your own excreta? In fact, ideal would be even in those areas where there is a this kind of dry latrine, you can always have a sewage treatment. In the sense now in Lonavala, I'm heading one committee where see Lonavala city that the proper has a proper sewage system, but then there are a lot of bungalows, hotels, various things come up. We have said nothing doing. Everybody has to have a sewage system. See, there are regular sewage treatment plant for a big group of bungalows or a hotel. There are other types of sewage treatment which is very cheap, maybe 15,000, 25,000. A group of 10 houses they can easily have. Why should some man come and clean your excreta? You just think of it. I mean, it is not his job. I mean, I mean, you think, I mean, some other human being has to come and clean your excreta. Why should it be? So the manual scavenging, and coupled with that, now in city you'll always find sanitation workers. Every other day you find somebody died. Why? They went into the manhole to clean. The man, why should a man go into a manhole to clean? There are machines available, and today Mumbai Municipal Corporation very proudly says we have 79,000 crores in the form of fixed deposit. What kind of thing? I mean, what are you holding on fixed deposit? You are not some senior citizen going to live with the interest. I mean, spend that money. Spend that money on genuine things like, I mean, why should anybody die? You know what is the reason? The reason is a man is ready to go down that sewage pipeline and clean for 200 rupees or 300 rupees. Because during my lawyer days, I had two persons who were my clients who were of this type. In fact, you'll be shocked to know they said, sir, we can't even enter the manhole unless we get drunk fully because we have to go through the excreta and that nauseating smell. And most of the time they die because of the gas produced there. And somebody recently also, some man died. The other man tried to save him. He also died. What are we? 1993, we passed a very beautiful law. But the passing a law is no meaning. You ensure in your own ward, tell your ward officer and others, there is no man should clean the sewage. You have machines available, use that machine. Machine can easily clean it. Why should they get into a sewage and clean? I mean, a very, very, very sad state of affairs. This is an area where you can create awareness and also ensure your ward officer helps in this. There's no shortage of fund. As I told you, they have probably the richest corporation in Asia with 79,000 crores in fixed deposit. And one more thing I noticed when I visited St. George Hospital, it's a very well known government hospital near VT, to visit somebody. I had gone there when I was when I was chairman of the Maharashtra Administrative Tribunal. I saw that patient that they were using a catheter. You know, catheter, no, where the patient cannot urinate properly, so the urine is collected and drops into a bag. See, the catheter, the bag is full. You have to remove, and that there is a measuring jar. You have to measure. You have to say 200 ml, 500 ml, whatever it is, and then put that bag again to the below the cot, where it's hanging. And I asked the nurse, see, now the bag is full, why don't you remove? No, no, no. He said, no, 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 I can't do. I asked the ward boy, no, 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 we don't do. We'll not. Somebody is there, he will come and do. I waited for 5 times. I said, forget it. I removed that. I put it in the that jar which has a measuring this system. I found it was 450. There's a register. I entered 450 and put that bag again, fixed it to the patient. So now later I came to know that nobody will touch that urine bag or even excreta. Suppose somebody is using you have to use the bedpan. So no, 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 that we will not do. Only a community, Valmiki community mostly they said, or other such communities, they do this job, we will not do. I said, what? Why should you sort of one community belittle them in this manner? And the most shocking thing later I found was that all these people who are removing the urine or excreta in that hospital, they were all on daily wages. Nobody is made permanent. Father, mother, son, daughter, generations keep on they're doing, but no employer. So I had suggested you move the tribunal, and they five of them moved. We gave a direction that about all over Maharashtra we said about 5,000 such people are there. They all have to be regularized. Regular employees. I mean, they are doing the most demeaning job, but you treat them as daily wages. I mean, why should you do that? See, this is an area where you should fight. Is it? I mean, supposing in your own house, your father, mother, would you not clean? You'll clean, correct? You'll remove that urine. Why should these people insist that this community? I mean, they only have to do. See, this is all because of centuries of oppression, nothing else. And then one, probably some of you might be knowing that the great work done by Baba Amte in Varora, near Nagpur. See, he had set up a very beautiful colony. It's called Lepers Colony, and also he was taking charge of the manual scavenging also. In fact, those days when Baba Amte was so involved in this protecting the manual scavengers and the liberation of lepers, he is a Brahmin, so all the Brahmin community in that area, no, 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 you are protecting a scavenger, you are protecting leper. We will not give our daughters or son in marriage in your family. So luckily his son is still continuing. Another son is a doctor. He is doing wonderful job, Dr. Prakash Amte in Gadichiroli area. He's taking care of animals and he's providing good medical facility to the tribals. See, what I am saying, leprosy does not get communicated easily. What happens? We all have a psychological problem. We think a leper is sitting. I'm talking of a person who has a communicable form of leprosy. He's sitting there. You feel, oh, no, 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 don't touch, don't. See, even if you live with a person with a communicable form of leprosy, 15 days, you should have a wound, open wound. You should live with him. You should use same utensils. Then you may get leprosy. But down on the road, somebody is sitting, maybe half cured also, but we don't go near because there is a mindset that leprosy will, and nobody dies of leprosy. They die of some other causes. Leprosy is an ailment, okay. I mean, it is, and after getting cured, you might have seen, their fingers are all little knotted here, there. You can make out he had suffered leprosy. When I went to that place near Nagpur, when I had a sitting in Nagpur, and I said, we'll go and see. So those people took me around. They showed they have a science college, arts college, and a commerce college. They're built in their complex. And they said, sir, our own hand, we took the bricks and we helped and we built it. But he says, now we cannot even enter that college because our fingers are like this. If we go there, everyone looks at us, they say, no, 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 better don't sit here, don't sit there. You just see that. I mean, a man who suffers, same thing. A person who is a leper, whether rich or whatever it is, thrown out. You go and live in lepers colony. Lepers colony somewhere outside because they should live separately. Why? Why? I mean, if you create a correct awareness, and there's absolutely you will not have any this thing. It's not communicable at all unless you have some wound. You're going to live with them. Otherwise, why should I mean you can help them tremendously. In fact, today even the so-called educated people are not aware whether leprosy is going to get communicated in this manner or that. So they're scared, totally scared. So why should these people suffer for no fault of theirs? Any other ailment you accept, but leprosy, no. Then there's one more area. See now, this also, luckily today there's a news item. One of the girl from Kamatipura, Kamatipura is where the prostitution goes on. I mean, of course, it's again, they pushed into that. So children growing up in that Kamatipura area, very bad condition because they always pimps are there, the guests, the customers come, and there's no formal education. They're completely exposed, and especially the girl children. Most of the cases, they again get into the same profession like the mother. In fact, there's one institution which is doing some good work in that area is in Pune, that is the Dagduchet Ganpati Trust. That famous Ganpati temple in Pune. So their trust, what they do is they take care of all children of these prostitutes in that area. They that one of that area there, and then give them good schooling. And girls, they ensure they get married. Not only married, they see for 3 4 years whether they are again not pushed into this flesh trade. So this is an area where, because what happened, all these, why I'm telling you all this is, these are areas where the government merely enacts some law, but they don't bother. Nobody bothers about them. Why should we bother about a prostitute child? What is the fault of that child? What is the fault of the child? Even the mother is pushed into that because of economic necessity. And now we sort of, in fact, I'll tell you one thing: if you do not have prostitutes in your society, your wife cannot say, "I'm virtuous." You can call yourself virtuous only because you have prostitutes in that society. See, anything you need something to compare with, correct? So therefore, we should not look down upon prostitutes or prostitute children. So we should adopt them, guide them. Why I'm saying the one of the girl today, Times of India says the girl went to US and she has graduated. She says I'm the first Kamatipura girl to go to US and graduate. See the pride. I mean, with great determination, she was able to do. And lastly, I would say about, because I did 1 year some work on prison reform. I found two things. When I first went to Baikula prison, Baikula is a prison for exclusively for women. There I found quite a few young kids, maybe 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and they were looking nice, nice and smiling and hey, this thing running around. I asked them how small children are here. Then they said most of the time when the woman, when she commits a crime, if she is pregnant, then after that, she mostly doesn't get a bail, and she delivers a baby, and the family always refuses to accept the child. So the child is allowed to be with the mother for about 6 years. And then I said, Why not create some kind of Balwadi system?" So, and then we contacted few NGOs. So they provided some, playthings for them to play around and somebody to teach them. So, and then they gave them uniform. What happened? The child should have some kind of a life inside a prison. And what is the fault of the child again? Nothing. I mean, merely born to a mother who committed a crime or supposed to have committed a crime. What is the fault of the child? Nothing. So these children, after 6 years, they put some kind of a formal, I mean, government, this thing. They are not properly educated. This also you can take it up. See, what happens, a prisoner idea is the prisoner is to be reformed. He must come back. Same way, the children also should not suffer. And fortunately, that opportunity I had. So I found Maharashtra government has got one department called Maharashtra Skill Development Agency. So I called the director, then requested him. I said, in all the jails, why should you not provide skills for the prisoners? See, somebody is good at carpentry, somebody has an interest in electrical work, plumbing, or any type of thing, and that is working well. Few companies started setting up a unit in that jail itself, and they are all learning. After about 6 months of effective learning, they give them a certificate. See, now man spends about 10 years in the jail, he will earn some money doing this work. Plus, when he comes out, he has a government certificate. With the government certificate, it's a qualified plumber, qualified electrician. See, somebody will give him a job. So we may not again have to go back and commit some crime to survive. See, what happens in our system, we are more keen only in punishing, but we are not bothered about the other problems faced by the family or he himself when he comes out. So all these issues, you belong to the future India. Tomorrow you will be the leaders. So right now you can start activate in various areas. So it's a wonderful topic, and you pursue this. You all have an important role in rendering justice in this society. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So that was quite a succinct presentation, yet you covered areas which we often ignore. And I believe the key takeaway from your discourse, sir, is inclusiveness is the key. And those segments of the society which are usually looked down to need some sort of support, especially from the younger generation, to elevate their sufferings and to help them find a place in their society. And you gave some amazing examples of people who have made it, like the example you gave of the girl who went to the United States, graduated, And this is something sort of a shot in the arm and an eye opener, that we should look beyond the ordinary, beyond the routine, and look at those segments which are in true sense neglected. Sir, with your permission, uh,
Hmm.
our friends have asked some questions, so I would
Okay.
like to put a few questions to you, uh, and
Yeah,
we would.
Mr. Pro, you read it out so that I
Yes,
can
yes,
hear
yes.
you clearly.
I will
And
I will read the questions, sir, and
uh,
we'll not be reading out all the questions. We'll pick some of the relevant ones, and those
yes,
which are related to the topic, and so that we
right.
don't digress from the discussion. So, sir, one of the questions is,
Uh,
uh, what are the constitutional safeguards to protect these downtrodden people, and are the constitutional safeguards enough to ensure within the legal framework that something could be done about these people that you've just mentioned?
No, we have a wonderful provision under Article 15(4), 15, Article 15, which says nobody shall be discriminated on the ground of caste or creed or religion. No, that it says that. But then, see, now merely a constitutional provision is not going to protect you. You know it very well. I mean, today, if a person belongs to a particular community, Constitution says they should be treated equally. They should not be discriminated. If the society is not, then you won't have this. Some people have to remove the urine. Somebody has to remove your excreta. They all belong to a particular caste, but they're day in day out. See, don't look at the constitution at all for solving this. You have to solve yourself at the ground level. Not the constitution is not going to solve.
Sir, what according to you?
See,
Yes, sir.
in that context, I'll tell you what Dr. Ambedkar, who was the main draftsman of our constitution. In fact, he was a professor in government law college. I also did my law from government law college. I was there. He was there much earlier. You will be surprised to know. See, in every law college there is a professor's common room, meaning only the professors will be sitting there. See, there are 3 lectures daily. So my first lecture after I finish, I come back, sit there. My other lecture will be a third lecture. One lecture I'll be sitting there. That way you follow, no? That it's a common room where the professors meet and sit. And there is in those days, today we don't have that matka, regular matka water system. So there's a small tap, you open, you get the water. You take it in a glass and drink. He was a professor of law. He was also a barrister, but he was not allowed to drink water from that matka. Now, why I'm telling you, you have beautiful laws. You have what type of education those professors had? Just think of it. All the colleagues of Dr. Ambedkar, is equality. Constitution is in force. You asked about constitution, correct? Because Dr. Ambedkar belonged to a community known as Mahar. Mahar is over. He's a Mahar. How can he touch this water? So now you understand. I mean, I am talking of an educated professor of law in an important law college doing this to own colleague. Now you understood. So it is the change has to occur at the grassroots level, not by law alone.
Right. Sir, do you recall any case from your days as a lawyer, or when you were at the bench,
Uh,
that you could recall something of this sort, that you had the occasion to deal with the situation with a downtrodden of a downtrodden member of a community that is not in that sense well represented?
I had one case. I mean, I'll tell you from BMC. What had happened was he was downtrodden with great difficulty. His job was a sweeper because he had to earn his livelihood. Then after, the sweeping job involves around 3 hours, 4 hours, something. he became an engineer. Huh? He got a regular engineering degree. He applied for the post of junior engineer. Then he was selected. And you know what happened? They came to know he was a sweeper. Huh? So they said, no, no, no. How can we appoint a sweeper as a junior engineer? You understand? Huh? The man filed a writ petition in the High Court. I said, in fact, you should be proud. You should encourage such people who are, in fact, you should honor such people in your corporation because he not only cleaned your street, he has successfully completed his graduation in engineering. He did it from BGTI and one of the top engineering colleges. Still, you say no, 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 because he was working as a sweeper. Now, how can you take him as junior engineer? You saw no, the whole actually, Mr. Purohit, the main problem in our country is we are not giving correct education, correct values to our children at all. Absolutely, we are not giving correct value, correct education. If correct value and correct education is given, many of these problems will get resolved. Anyway, if not there at your own level, your own group level, you'll have to do. See, today during my time, we had in a week at least two or three moral science classes. See, that is, you should not do this, in the form of story, in the form of this thing. But today, no moral science. School, no moral science. House, no moral science. So, what do you expect the child to be? The child becomes, completely a callous being. Callous means highly self-centered, not bothered about anything. Hmm? So, anyway, at your own level, you can change.
Right, right, sir. What, according to you, sir, are the challenges at a practical level that usually one is faced with, even if one were to take an initiative and do something about the topics that you've so profusely
Yeah,
spoken
no,
about?
no. See, you just trace it out from internet, you'll get everything from 1993. Every other 10 years, 10 years, they've been enacting law prohibiting manual scavenging.
Right,
But then in reality, it should happen, no? Correct?
correct.
Why you should see? You'll be surprised. In fact, today, National Green Tribunal, NGT, they have levied around 40 crores on BMC. You know what BMC is today doing? BMC, Bombay is one of the largest cities in the world. What you are thinking is you are staying in a nice apartment building, correct? The
Right,
sewage goes down, correct? It goes in the sewage pipe. You know what actually happens? Most of the sewage is collected at various places and like a mixer, you have a mixer at home, same way it is churned, not treated, churned, and they have a 15-meter diameter concrete pipe which goes into the sea for about 1.5 kilometers with a forcible, powerful motor. They are pushed into it. So your excreta goes about 1.5 meter, 1.5 kilometers into the sea, again comes back. Hmm? Now they have been fined because they found Mithi River and various rivers untreated sewage is being released by BMC. How can they release it? NGT had to find them. No, see, look at look. Just look at it. I mean, one of the top best cities in the world, commercial city. We have no lack of fund. They have money. Why should you not treat the sewage? You see, in fact, you'll be surprised to know in a ship, somebody, I mean, you have in the ship, you have people going for about 5, 6 months. They all sail, carry a lot of goods and go. They have a regular sewage treatment plant in a ship. You don't think they release directly to the sea. They cannot do it. Even the sea should not be polluted. That is a standard today. But Bombay, we don't mind.
right, sir. So,
No, best is each of
yes, sir.
you get hold of at the ward office level and form a group. You can eradicate many of these problems at the grassroots level, at the ward officer level. What? Your ward, I mean BMC ward. See, ensure it is. They are going to set up for years with nothing is set up. That sewage treatment plant. You see, in fact, if you treat the sewage, why I'm saying is now in Lonavala, we call the experts from IIT, ask them to explain to the hoteliers. Now, every hotel has to have a proper sewage treatment plant. And that water comes out, that water is used in the garden. You can use it for washing your car. You can use except for bathing, drinking water, or cooking. All other things you can do with that. It's clean water. It is tested. Why should we not do that? Why?
Right.
I mean, because in fact, many of our diseases will come down automatically if sewage is treated properly. Now you go around everywhere. Now, certain slum area, why not collect all that sewage, put a small sewage treatment plant, clean it? No, correct? No. What you do, take that directly into Mithi River or some other river and
Correct.
get fined by NGT.
Right, sir. One question is, of course, Parliament has the power to make laws. So one of the questions is, how can citizens participate in the law making or amending process? That's one. And the second part of the question, sir, is how to enhance participation between citizens and the lawmakers, because ultimately it's the, as you rightly said, if something has to be achieved, it has to be achieved on the level of
No, no,
citizens.
I'll tell you bluntly, very bluntly, forget making law. We have ample laws. No, we have ample law. You read, see now, for example, I'll give you a simple example. Now, some of you might be lawyers also or having a law background, correct? I'll give you a
Yes.
very, very simple thing. What does Article 22 say? Article 22 of the Constitution says every person accused of a crime shall be defended by a lawyer of his choice. Is it
Correct.
today available? No. So don't concentrate on lawmaking, do it on the ground level. See, we have been having this law from 1950, but you go anywhere, you'll find where lawyers are there. Lawyers are not there. Nobody is defending them. In fact, you saw the other day, 2 days back, the Supreme Court found about 14 or 15 juveniles at the time of the offense. They were spent 15 years in Allahabad jail
Yeah.
for serious crime. They realized a juvenile cannot be kept in prison beyond 18 years. So they said release them forthwith. 4 days, 5 days passed, nothing is. The Supreme Court said why the order has not gone by post to the Allahabad jail. So the Chief Justice says, are we still looking at pigeons to carry our order? I mean, he said we should have some system to,
Yeah, they took suo moto cognizance.
yeah, digitally send it, no? Correct. I mean, now you have digital signature. Now, for instance, your income tax return, they say all should, even the signature is digital signature. Correct. Why? Then actually, reason is what happens. The downtrodden and others, laws are all there. Forget about law. Try and get relief for them at your own level. No, don't look to law at all. Law is
Right.
not going to help you. Hmm?
So you mentioned a couple of things, and I just wanted to apprise you about the activities that DIA is doing, not just in Bombay but throughout the country. So
Hmm.
you spoke about the work that Baba Amte did, and it has obviously been carried on
Yeah,
and
correct.
is being carried on at the moment. So we had the
Yeah.
occasion to have Dr. Amte on
Ah.
our platform previously,
Oh,
and our entire team went to Anandwan and saw. I mean, the great
what
work
all
that is
they
being
do.
done. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and we've been
Tremendous
so
work. Tremendous work. In
absolutely, sir.
fact, actually, except salt and oil, they produce everything. They
Right.
make a steel cupboard, they make shirts, they make soap. What all you need, they're making. Self sufficient. No?
Correct, sir. So we had that opportunity to go there
Interact.
and see for
Yeah.
ourselves, and that synergy is, in fact, it has continued. And secondly, sir, you mentioned about how those who are forced into flash trade, we should do something for them. So we, in fact, are working with a foundation called the Rescue Foundation, where
mm,
every year we go, we try and provide some medical assistance to them, health kits,
mm.
ration, etc. Whatever is in our
Yeah.
capacity, we try to provide, and we do try and do something for them. So that's one of the activities that we are doing. And the parent university is situated at Haridwar, the Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya. Because you
Okay.
spoke about education, sir, and value education, as you rightly said. So the university focuses on value based education, and it
Mm,
teaches a subject called life management, because that is
mm.
something that is not taught anywhere. And
Right.
students are sent for an internship, not like a productive internship in the sense of getting jobs or opportunities, but to see for themselves at grassroots level, at villages, what are the
Mm,
problems majorly that our country is faced with, and they see face to face what they can do after passing out.
mm.
So the all of these I'm trying to sort of bring to your knowledge, sir, that these are some of the activities that we are doing. And in fact,
Right.
once the pandemic subsides and the situation is conducive for normal traveling, I would in fact urge you to visit the university and see for yourself that what great work is being done there. And that's why
Uh, where
professionals
in
from
Haridwar, is it? It's in
Haridwar, Haridwar,
Haridwar.
yes,
Haridwar.
sir. So that's why youth and youngsters who are coming from different fields, like I am a lawyer, I have someone volunteering who is from the IT field, and there are chartered accountants, engineers. So all of us come together on a platform to do something. So that's where our inspiration comes from Dr. Pranav Pandya, who is the, as we saw in the documentary, is the chancellor of the university. And under
Mm.
his leadership, the university has done some great work in
Oh, yeah.
confluencing modern science with ancient wisdom, and
Excellent. Excellent.
providing a platform to the youth of the country where they can, express themselves, and at the
Huh.
same time do something notable for the country.
Very
So
nice.
that is the idea, sir.
Excellent. Excellent. See, the idea is, see, now don't depend on government. Form your own group and get things resolved. I mean, the ample laws are available. Don't trouble yourself getting some law enacted.
Yes, sir. The idea is to reach the last man on the street, and that can be done
Yeah,
only
correct,
through
correct,
private participation and
correct,
not
correct,
too much
correct.
reliance
Absolutely.
on establishments.
Correct, correct. Absolutely correct.
One more activity that we are doing on an everyday basis, sir, is that last year when the pandemic hit, when COVID came,
Huh.
we saw a lot of frontline workers losing their lives. We saw a lot
Hmm.
of people losing their lives, their near and dear ones. What we do every day at 6:30, at 6:20 to 6:30, sir, is we uh, do collective prayers from wherever we are. We chant Gayatri Mantra for
Okay.
10 minutes for their well-being, and
Very
and
nice.
and to hope and pray that this pandemic subsides. So wherever we are, we just sit for 10 minutes and are a part of
Yeah,
this
because
noble
that collective
initiative.
thing will always have a good impact because
Correct,
in all
correct,
these
correct.
prayers also, collectively chanting has a tremendous impact.
Correct, sir. So that's the idea, to take it global, and
Mm.
uh, I mean, just try and do something good. And we would look forward to you, sir, for your mentorship and guidance in future as well. Uh,
Certainly, certainly. Great pleasure. I found at least somebody is really doing good work, good topic. And, otherwise now you find people discuss only superficially certain things. And I mean, you have to reach that, no? Correct? I mean, thank you. Thank you very
Right. So
much.
thank
Huh?
you so much for taking out time today. I know even after, I mean, you stepped, you retired from the bench. You are quite busy, we know, and taking time out is certainly something that we are thankful to you for, and we look forward to
Yeah.
you for such further sessions in future
Yeah,
as well, sir.
certainly, certainly. Great pleasure. Thank you, Mr. Purohit. Huh? Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Mr.
sir.
Vijay Purohit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would
Thank
just
you.
request everyone to join in Shanti Part with me
Uh,
so
hmm.
that we conclude the session. हमारे आने वाले कार्यक्रमों की जानकारी के लिए हमारे YouTube चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें
और साथ ही बेल आइकन को दबाएं